Good morning, student. Today Purnima is going to teach you the drama If I Were You, written by Douglas James. So this is the only drama, children, in your book, and I think the three qualities of drama we all know is that drama has characters, it is in dialogue form, and then there is a characters is there, dialogue form is there, and scene or act is present. Okay, so there's a character in the drama. So two characters are here. One is Zerold and the other is the intruder. Then children, we are having the scene of a drawing room, and if you will see, children, the whole drama is written in the whole drama is written with this thing in the dialogue form, in the conversation form. So now I would like to tell you the theme of the drama. According to the writer Douglas James, one needs to act in an intelligent way during the time of difficulty. A person has to be very alert. A person has to act in an intelligent way at the time of the crisis. One needs to be very bold. They had not to lose their nerves. The presence of mind is always essential at the time of the crisis. So at the present of mind is also always essential at the time of crisis. In this play, Zerold is the main character. He uses his presence of mind and outplays the intruder. During the talks, he learns the intention of the intruder. Zerold smartly concords a story to outwit the intruder. The sense of the humor often helps us as shown in the play. Zerold outsmarts the intruder to trap him in his own net. Now I would like to tell you the summary of this drama. An intruder is there. Children, what is the meaning of an intruder? Who trespasses in others' property or house. So children, he deliberately enters in someone's property. So intruder enters Zerold cottage. Zerold is a playwright and he is making call to someone. He lived alone in a very small cottage in Essex. One day an intruder entered his cottage. The intruder had a pistol in his hand and he wanted to kill Zerold. He heard few things about him. The intruder was a murderer and he had killed one policeman too. The police was chasing him and he wanted to adopt Zerold's identity to outsmart the police and live peacefully thereafter. The scene inside the cottage. Now children, I am going to describe the scene inside the cottage. Okay. When the intruder broke into the cottage of Zerold, he was preparing to go outside. He was going for rehearsal of his new drama. He was preparing his bed on which he kept his props for the rehearsal. So he in a very systematic manner, in a very arranged manner, he had kept his props for the rehearsal. The intruder had a revolver in his hand. The intruder told Zerold that he was a jewel robber. He disclosed that his intention was to kill Zerold and impersonate him. He wanted to adopt Zerold's identity to avoid the police. Zerold outwits the intruder. Zerold concocted a story to outwit the intruder. He told the intruder that he himself was a murderer and the police was after him also, and the police was against him also. He also told him that killing him and taking his identity would not help him. He would be accused murderer. He said that police would hang him not with his real identity but as Zerold. The reaction of the intruder. When intruder heard all this, children, there was a reaction. Okay, after hearing all this, the intruder began to think seriously. This was the opportunity for Zerold to take control of the situation. He asked him to hurry and flew away with him in his car for any safer place. He then opened the door, which was actually a cupboard. The intruder looked into it to see what it contained and got trapped. Climax of the story. Zerold pushed the intruder into the cupboard. The revolver fell down from his hand when he stepped into the cupboard, and Zerold rapidly closed the door of the cupboard and picked up the revolver. He then called the police to arrest the intruder. So children, this is the whole point of the drama. Finally children, he had in a very nice manner, in a very, what to say, in a very clever manner, in a very bold manner, he was able to hand over the intruder to the police. Okay, so now I would be telling you about the main points of the story. The playwright named Zerold lives alone in a small cottage. Once an intruder entered his house to kill him because he wanted to live by the name of Zerold, as his face resembles a lot to Zerold. The intruder is a criminal and he has also killed a policeman, so policeman was after him. The intruder thinks that he resembles Zerold very much and he decides to kill Zerold and then live himself as Zerold thereafter. Zerold smartly outwits the intruders and tells that he himself is a murderer. Zerold tells the intruder that if he kills him, police would hang him, if not as himself, then as Zerold. The intruder falls in his traps and agrees to run away with him in his car. Zerold acts smartly and opens the door, which is actually the door of the cupboard, and since intruder was not aware of this, he just entered. The intruder took into it to see what it contains. Zerold suddenly pushes him into the cupboard and he closed the door of the cupboard, and finally he called the police to arrest the intruder. So children, you can see in a very bold manner, in a very what to say, he did not lose hope. In a very bold manner, he was able to hand over the intruder to the police. Now I'm going to explain you about the drama if I were you. So I'm going to read and explain you. So Zerold lives alone in a lonely cottage. An intruder who is a criminal enters his cottage. He intends to murder Zerold and takes him on his identity. Okay, so now children, the following words and phrases occur in the play. Do you know their meanings? Match them the meaning given to. So with this we can discuss afterwards. Now children, I will be talking you about the scene. I told you in the drama there are characters. So there are two characters here, Zerold and the intruder. Then dialogue form, if you will see the chapter, the whole chapter is written in the dialogue form. And then children, there is a scene and act in this play. Okay, so what is the scene? The scene has been described here. A small cottage interior. There is an entrance back right, which may be curtained, and the door to the left must be a practical door. The furniture is simple, consisting of a small table towards the left, a chair or two, and a divan rather upstage on the right. On the table is a telephone. Okay. And now children, the dialogues of the Zerold is starting with the Zerold dialogue. Well, tell him to phone up directly. I must know. Yes, I expect I still be here, but you must not count on that. Count on that means depend on. It's about 10 minutes time. Right. Oh, goodbye. Now since he is talking to someone and he wanted to arrive within time. So he is expecting somebody and he is telling in about 10 minutes time, right, oh, goodbye. Now, Zerold. Then somebody, children, He puts down the phone and goes to the divan on the left where there is a traveling bag is kept and start packing. While he is thus engaged, another man similar in build to Zerold enters from the right silently. When he was doing that, another man, he was looking like a Zerold, he entered from the right side of the door. So, and he is having a revolver in his hand. He is flashily dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. So children, he is dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. He bumps accidentally against the table and at the sound, Zerold turns quickly, and children, he turns quickly. Zerold, pleasantly, why, this is a surprise, Mr. R. Now children, Zerold is shocked. When he sees him, he just turn away, but instead of feeling scared, what he's telling, why, this is a surprise, Mr. R. Zerold. Intruder, I'm glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you will be pleased for long. Now children, what Intruder is replying, he's telling, I'm very happy that you are pleased to see me, but you will not be happy for a longer time when I will tell you why I came here. Put those paws up. Paws up means hands up. He told him to put his paws up. That means he should put his hands up. Zerold, this is all very melodramatic. Okay, so melodramatic. What is melodramatic? So melodramatic means, students, not perfect. It means not perfect. Okay, so he is telling, Zerold is telling to the intruder that it is not perfect, but very original perhaps, and it is looking very original. It don't seems that you are acting, and it seems real to me, whatever you are doing to me. Intruder, trying to be calm, and now he is telling why you are looking very peaceful, you are not feeling afraid of me. Zerold, nonchalant. Okay, so nonchalant means careless is your word, I think. So he is telling you should not tell me that I am looking peaceful, you should be telling me nonchalant. Okay, it means careful, peaceful, or without any disturbance in the mind. So he is telling, see, I am looking very careful, peaceful, and without any disturbance in my mind. Intruder, thanks a lot, you will soon stop being smart. Now what does Intruder replying? Intruder is telling, now you are looking smart, but very soon you will not be looking smart. I will make you crawl. He is telling, I will make you crawl. I want to know a few things. He is telling, I just want to know first of all few things from you. Zerold, anything you like. Now Zerold again, children, he is not scared, and what he is telling, whatever you feel like asking, you can ask me anything you like. I know all the answers, but before we begin, I should like to change my position. So he is telling, but before we begin, I should like to change my position. You may be comfortable, but I am not. So he is telling, you may be comfortable, but I am not. Intruder, sit down there and no funny business. Motions to a chair and sits himself on the divan by the bag. Now then we will have a nice little talk about yourself. Now children, both of them sit, and now Intruder is telling that I want to have a talk concerned with you. He wanted to know about him. So now children, Zerold, at last a sympathetic audience. I will tell you the story of my life. Now children, he is telling you, okay, if you want to wish me to tell everything about me, I am going to tell you about you have to sit like a sympathetic audience, and I will be telling you the story of my life. How as a child I was stolen by the gypsy. Now he started telling that when he was a child, he was stolen by gypsies. And why at the age of 32, I find myself in my lonely Essex cottage. How? And she is telling, now I am 32 years old and I am living at my Essex cottage. Intruder, keep it to yourself and just answer my question. Now Intruder is telling, whatever we are talking, you don't have to tell to anybody, and you only have to answer my question, not anything extra. You live here alone, well do you? Now Intruder is asking, do you live alone here, well do you? Zerold, I'm sorry, I thought you were telling me, not asking me. So Zerold is, see the humorous point of the story. Instead of feeling scared, he is telling, I thought you are telling me, not asking me. A question of inflection, your voice is unfamiliar. So he is telling, you are asking me a question of inflection, which is not unfair. Inflection is the pitch in the voice. Inflection is the pitch in the voice. Okay. So do you live here alone? And if I don't answer, now again he's telling, do you live here alone? And if I don't answer, you have got enough sense not to want to get hurt. Now children, he is telling, if you will not answer my question, you might get hurt. I think good sense is shown more in the ability to avoid pain than in the mere desire to do so. What do you think, Mr. Intruder? Never mind my name. Now he wanted to know his name, but he is telling, I never mind my name. I like you better, Mr. Zerold. In fact, I like your name and I will be calling you Mr. Zerold. What are your Christian name? Now children, he is telling what is his Christian name, and what he replies back, it is Vincent Zerold. He is telling, my name is Vincent, okay, Zerold. Now Christian name, children, is the first name, okay. And Intruder, do you run a car? He is telling no. Do you run a car? That means, do you have a car? So he straight away is telling no. That's a lie. You are not dealing with a fool. I am as smart as you and smarter. So he's telling, he don't tell lie. You are not dealing with a fool. I am also as smart as you are. But in fact, I am much more smarter than you. And I know you run a car. He is telling, I know that you run a car. That means you drive a car. Better be careful, wise guy. So his children threatening him. He is telling, better you will be better, you are a wise guy, so don't be very do all this type of lies. You don't have to tell to me. Zerold, are you American or is that merely a clever imitation? Now children, the accent he was speaking, Intruder, the style, the way of his speaking was similar to that of an American accent. So Zerold is asking that, are you an American or you are simply imitating to be an American? Intruder, listen, this gun is no toy. I can hurt you without killing you and still get my answer. So what Intruder is telling, he is telling, listen, this gun is not a toy and I can hurt you whenever I want. That means I can use my gun on you when you will not be telling me properly. Zerold, of course, if you put it like that, I will be glad to assist you. I do possess a car and it's in the garage round the corner. So he's telling, if you will threaten me, definitely I have to tell you. And now he's telling, yes, I have got a car and I do possess a car. Possess means to keep a car, to have a car, and it is in the garage right now. So he's telling, and that car is kept in the garage right now. Intruder. That's better. Do people often come out here? So he's telling that's better. Do people often come out here? Zerold. Very rarely. Surprisingly few people take the trouble to visit me. So Zerold is telling very rarely, surprisingly very few people come to visit me. So he's telling how many people visits you here. So he's telling very less people visit me here. There is a baker and the greengrocer. A baker is there and a greengrocer is there, of course. And then there's a milkman, quite charming, but no one so interesting as yourself. And then finally he tells that there's a milkman also. He is also very charming. All of them are very charming. They are very lovely, but they are not interesting like you. I happen to know that you never see tradespeople. Tradespeople are the merchants. So he is telling I came to know that you never see the tradespeople. You seem to have taken a considerable amount of trouble since you know so much about me. Now Zerold is replying back that you know everything about me. So you have already taken so much pain that what I do, how many people visit here. So why won't you say something about yourself? You have been so monstrous. Now he's telling you are behaving in such a very nice way. Why don't you tell something about yourself? Intruder. I could tell you plenty. You think you are smart, but I am the top of the class out here. Now children, Intruder is telling him, of course I can tell you plenty, but don't think you're smart. I am smarter than yourself. I've got brains and I use them. That's how I've got where I have. So he's telling I've got brains and I use them. That's how I've got where I have. Now, Zerold. And where precisely have you got? It did not require a great pain to break into my little cottage. Now Zerold is telling, of course I know you are a very brainy person, but for entering my house I don't think you required a brain. Then when you know why I have broken into your little cottage, you will be surprised, and it would be a pleasant surprise. Now he's telling you should know that why I have come into your cottage, though you will be surprised to know, but that it won't be a pleasant surprise. With you figuring so largely in it, that is understandable. By the way, what particular line of crime do you embrace, or aren't you a specialist? So he is telling you which particular lining you are doing, you are a specialist for. Intruder. My specialty jewel robber. Your car will do me a treat. It's certainly a dandy buzz. Dandy is excellent. So he's telling your car will help me to go back, and it's really is a dandy. It's a very excellent car. Now I'm afraid jewels are few and far between in the wilds of Essex. Now Zerold is telling, but there are very few jewelries here in this Essex, in this place Essex. So are the cops. Now he is telling the policemen are also very less here. Cop means policeman. I can retire here nicely in a little while. He is telling you very soon I am going to shift here. All right, very soon I will be shifting here to the cottage. Then Zerold, you mean to leave with me? A trifle sudden, isn't it? You have not been invited. Now Zerold is shocked. He is telling you wanted to leave with me. A trifle sudden, isn't it? That means he is telling it is a minor. Trifle is anything which is less important, worthwhile. If you had not been important, so he is telling, but it is not worthwhile. I did not invite you. I did not tell you to come and live with me, and then you are thinking to live with me. Intruder, you won't be here long, so I did not trouble to ask. So intruder is telling you won't be here long, I did not trouble to ask. What do you mean? Now Zerod is asking, what do you mean by that? This is your big surprise. Now what did the intruder reply? He told, this is your surprise. Okay, till now I did not tell you, but now this is your surprise, that I am going to kill you. A little harsh, isn't it? No, Zerod is telling, you are too harsh, you are too rough. Don't talk like that. With heavy sarcasm. Yeah, I will be sorry to do it. I've taken a fancy to you, but it's just got to be done. Fancy is impressed. So he's telling, Intruder is telling, though I'm impressed with you, but I have to do that. I have to do that thing. Now, why add murder to your other crime? It's a grave step you are taking. So Zerod is telling that you have already killed a policeman, and why you are doing another murder, and it's a grave step you are taking. Intruder, I'm not taking it for fun. I've been hunted long enough. I'm wanted for murder already, and they can't hang me twice. So he's telling, I've already wanted for murder already, and they can't hang me twice. So he's telling you nobody can hang twice for 2 murder or 3 murder. Okay, the same punishment will be for the second murder, so you don't have to worry. You are planning a gratuitous double, so to speak. Admitted, you have nothing to lose, but what you have to gain. So he's telling gratuitous is without good reason. So he's telling there is no reason to kill me, and you don't have to lose anything, but then what you will gain also by killing me. I've got freedom to gain. So he's telling, of course I will be gaining a lot. First of all, I will gain my freedom. Okay. As for myself, I'm a poor hunted rat. He's telling me I'm poor hunted rat. Whenever I come out, people hunt for me. As Vincent Charles Gerard, I am free to go place and do nothing. He is telling, when I will kill you, I will leave by your name as Vincent Charles Gerard. And I will be going anywhere. The police will not be after me. I can eat well, I can sleep, and without having to be ready to beat it at the sight of cop. And I don't have to run when I will see policemen. So he is telling, I will be living happily, peacefully, with freedom. Zerod. In most melodrama, the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. So he is telling, in many of the melodrama, in many of the sensational drama, it is the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. So he is telling, in many drama, villain, they take a lot of time to kill. The plan is being made, but you are so simple-hearted that you told me that you are immediately going to kill me. Intruder, I'm okay. I've got a reason for everything. I'm going to be Vincent Charles Gerard. See, I've got to know what he talks like. Now I know that posh stuff comes easy. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. So he is telling, anyway, I'm going to be, after killing you, I will be leading the life of Vincent Charles Gerard, and I have got to know what he talks like. And he too is telling, I would know like what he talks like. Now I know that posh stuff comes easy. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. And children, he imitates the same way like he was imitating before. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. And that's not at all. He stands up, gets up a minute, now takes a look at me. So he is telling, now you can take a look. Okay, so he is telling, you are not decorative. Okay, that means you are not very smart, handsome looking. Intruder, not well, that goes for you too. So he Intruder told me, but you are also not handsome looking. I have got only to wear specs, and I will be enough like you to get away with it. And when I will be putting specs, I will be looking more like you. And then nobody will be after me, no policeman, nobody. Zerol, What about your clothes? They will let you down if you are not careful. But he's telling the way you dress up is not the way I dress up, and they will be helping you to, the police will be helping you to near you. Let's be all right. Yours will fit me fine. Now Intruder is telling, see, my health and height is also the same as yours. If my cloth is not like yours, but I will be putting your clothes. After killing you, I will be taking all your clothes. I will be wearing it. Is that all? That is extremely interesting, but you seem to miss the point of my remark. I said you were luckier than most melodramatic villains. It was not a tribute to your intelligence. You won't kill me for a very good reason. So that's what you think. Now children, he is telling, just now I told you, told you something. You were luckier than most melodramatic villains. It was not a tribute to your intelligence. If you won't kill me for a very good reason. Now he's telling you, but I'm going to tell you something, and if you will hear that, you won't kill me. Now children, the time is over, and very soon I'm going to tell you the next part of my video, the next part of this drama. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.